Really a lot. Just looking at the game, obviously when you get beat like that, you feel as though you could have did something different. All we can do is learn from it, really. Learn from it. If we ever was to get in that situation again, hopefully we don't. We just got to do a better job collectively of fighting through that and trying to get back into that ball game. And that really starts with me. I got to do a better job of getting these guys in position, getting these guys ready to roll.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question will come from Greg Auman.
Hey, Byron, I want to ask you about third downs. And I think every team, struggles more or has less success as you get farther away and need more yards on third down. But just want to ask you why there's such a shelf for you guys where once it hits 3rd and 7 and longer, you guys have had struggles with that.
I don't know. That's something we're aware of. That's something we talked about really all this week of trying to get better at. The guys that we have normally when we come to the table with what we need to do to improve, to get better, to help this football team. It's been a lot of work in that department to get better at it. I trust in the guys. I trust in myself that we'll get this thing fixed and just become a better team in those 3rd and long situations.
On third down in general, obviously there were struggles Sunday night, but you guys only converted 1 third down the whole night. Was there something you would point to for why the pass game was so off on third down Sunday?
I think it was off on first. I think everything was off. When you lose a game that way, nothing really worked. Nothing really went right. So everything was off. Everything was off. We came in here and watched the film. It was a tough film to watch as a crew. As we looked at it together, we'll learn from it. We'll get better from it. We'll use those moments to get better.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, I know there's only so many mouths to feed and a growing room full of receivers, but Mike Evans was only targeted once in the first half. I know that's not ideal when you've got a Pro Bowl caliber guy like him, and plus he had such a big game against Carolina previously. I'm just wondering, looking back, is there anything you think maybe you could have done differently to try to get Mike the ball a little bit more? Is that going to be a point of emphasis for you guys this week?
I think looking at the results, I think we could have done a lot different, to be honest with you. That was a bad one. That was a bad one. Nothing went right. I've been a part of those games before on both sides. All you can do is learn from them, move on. And as far as we'll continue to keep putting our guys in position to make plays. Obviously, when you have a player as good as Mike, you want to give him as many opportunities as possible. So, we understand that, and we'll do a better job across the board, really, from everything that happened the other night. I think we got to do a better job than anything that we done that night.
In the 2 losses that you guys have already had this season, you've responded the following week with 30-plus points both games. What do you think has been key for you guys, particularly for your quarterback, Tom Brady, that has allowed you guys to be able to bounce back in such a big way anytime you've had a setback this year?
Well, I think we just got a good football team. We got a good personnel. We got guys that's working their tail off to get better. We got a lot of guys that can make plays, and when you have games like that, it's tough. We were joking, understanding that if we don't score 30 or 40, something's probably wrong. That's how the world view us. So we understand that. We just got to work. Remember, everything that we try to do it to win football games. We don't really care to score, really, to be honest with you, but we just try to do what we can to make plays to win the football game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question will come from John Romano.
Hey, Byron. Tom can get rid of the ball very quickly. He has his whole career. But as teams ramp up their pass rush, how much of that falls on you to provide him enough options to sort of counteract that?
Well, I think as the play caller, it's your responsibility to put your guys in position. And that's everybody, quarterback, wide receiver, running backs, the O-line. It's your job to really put people in position to be successful. So it starts with me. Everything starts with me, and we just got to do a better job of me coaching and us executing. But I trust in the guys. I trust we'll do the right things. We'll work at the right things to get things in the right direction.
Next question will come from Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Byron, you guys owned the first quarter, the first 5 games of the season, outscoring your opponents 38-14. Since then, you've been outscored 24-10 in the first quarter. What's happened over the last 4 games that has prompted you guys to not get off to good starts compared to what you did earlier in the season that was so effective?
I don't think it's nothing specific because I think it's been different each one of those games. I just don't think we started off on a good start. I just don't think, we were the first 5 games. I think we were doing extremely well, and like you say, the last 4 we haven't. That's another thing we address. Something else we address. Something else we try to look forward to getting better at.
There's probably nothing worse than going 0 for 4 from the 1-yard line, but that's what happened in the third quarter. Can you just kind of take us through your thought process there with 4 cracks at the end zone from the 1-yard line and not being able to cash in?
It was that type of night. We got to find a way to get that ball in the end zone. We all know that. And hopefully we get another opportunity in that situation. We'll come through.
Thank you, Byron.
No problem. Thank you.
We have time for a couple more. Next, we'll go to Joey Knight.
Byron, when everything's clicking for you guys, what would you say is your offense's identity, and how do you get back to that after what transpired the other night?
We'll just keep working like we always do. We can't allow last week's game to really get in the way of the way we approach the game of football, the way we attack people, a way we play the game of football, and the way we go about it. All we can do is learn from that game. When you have games like that, all you can do is really dissect everything, learn from it, do the things that you need to do the things that we feel as though we need to do to be successful, and try to do those things. We'll learn from that game. I think we learned a lot from that game just sitting here watching, but now it's time to move on. We got a tough opponent here Sunday, so we got to get ready to play a good football team on Sunday.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Byron, playing off John's question about the quicker passes, Tom hasn't been pressured a lot this year, but the Saints have put a lot of heat on him. When you run into a situation like that, do you pull the receivers back, shorten the routes to try to get the ball out of his hand more? Are those the type of adjustments that you have to make against the heavy pass rush?
I mean, they can be. We do all types of adjustments. There's a lot of adjustments you could do to try to help that situation, to be honest with you. So we'll do whatever we feel as though we need to do at that game to find a way to win it. Obviously, it didn't work out that way for us last Sunday night, and we just got to move on. We got to move on to the next game, get ready to play, because the opponent we got coming up is playing hard. It's a good football team. They run to the ball. They got good players. So we got to get ready to play for the next team. All we can do is learn from what we saw on tape and get better.
And the last question will come from Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Byron, how would you describe the fact that there's obviously been games where it seems like everything's clicking, and then there's been swings like we saw on Sunday night, and so it's sort of been like highs and lows depending on the given week. How do you describe, like, mentally sort of what that does to the team, not sort of being able to find that middle ground there?
I see you got the Masters on in your background. That is excellent.
Important stuff's going on in this household, Byron.
I hear Tigers 4 under. Well, it's just work, just work. I think it's a word that Tom used all the time, the continuity. The more we can work together, the more we can be in those situations and learn from each other, the better. Obviously, you don't want to be in the situation that we were in Sunday night, but we can learn. We're getting better piece by piece. I know after a game like that, it don't look like you did anything right, because it feels that way. But we'll learn from this. We'll move on. That's all we can really do, is just continue doing the things that we're doing and just try to continue doing them at a high level.
We'll go one more from Rick Stroud.
Yeah, Byron, just kind of getting back to Joey's question. I mean, are you the kind of offense, when you started out, you obviously had different personnel, you were 2 tight end, you ran the ball. Are you like a chameleon type offense based on who you play, or are you 4 wide, you throw the ball a lot? Like, what do you hang your hat on, other than obviously you got a lot of Pro Bowl receivers?
Obviously, we want to be multiple. I think you got to be multiple in this league, because the opponents that you play. Each different opponent has different strengths and weaknesses, and you try to do what you can to attack those. And in the process, just make sure you're able to be multiple. So when you can find those mismatches where things are in your advantage, we don't want to be one-dimensional. We work our tail off not to be one-dimensional. And then sometimes when things don't work, you know, it's going to be questioned and all those type of things. And we understand that. So we just going to continue doing what we need to do to try to win football games. I know I keep repeating myself and saying that, but that's how we see it. We're already trying our best. We're trying our best to put guys in position all the time, every play. I tell you, every play is thought out. When they don't work, they don't work. But when they do, they do. So we'll continue to keep trying to execute at a high level. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll keep working and we'll keep getting better.
All right, that's all we have for today.
Okay,
Appreciate
guys.
you taking the time.
Thank you.